I'm Kila.
And I'm Ashley.
And we met on TikTok.
2 trailers, 1 park.
And we were raised by 2 mother hustlers.
I raised my mama.
Oh my gosh, I did too.
Well, let's talk about that. We can talk shit about our moms, but no one else can.
True. Better than a coffee and rye.
So, we're really glad to be back in the studio. We have missed each other and missed...
I know, I've missed you.
And missed the people, listeners.
Yeah.
I have had several messages like, hey, you said October 1st. I'm like, don't ever listen to anything I say, okay?
We are always running behind.
Yeah, never listen to anything I say because I talk out of my ass a lot. I have big plans. Rarely follow through with them. So yeah.
I know.
So good luck, Kila, being my partner.
I know. This bitch right here, let me tell you, I called her and texted her 100 times. And she never texted me back or called me back.
I've just not been in like a talkative mood lately. I don't even know. Who knows?
We're going to need to up the Prozac.
Well, I did ask my doctor. I was like, you think I'm bipolar? And she was like, no, you'd have already had like a breakdown by now. I was like, oh, okay. Well, sometimes I just don't want to be deal with people. And she's like, no, I think that's normal. So,
especially when you got little kids at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm touched out. And
I'm like that when I have to work the front desk at the office. I hate everybody.
Yes.
And they're like trying to be nice. And I'm like, I don't give a damn.
Yes.
Just give me your money and get the hell out of here.
It's too people-y. So what's been going on with you since we last recorded?
Everything.
Let's make a rundown.
I know. I done made a list, and you don't even have a list of what you've done.
So on my list, it just says ... improv. So, I mean, that's my list. I do pretty well, like just out of my ass. Anyways.
All right. So we finished up with your sister.
Yes, but we actually did not. We need to redo that. We didn't let her talk a lot.
Well, I feel like we need to redo that episode anyway, because my little story about being in handcuffs and going to the 940 jail over here several times, I probably need to go into more detail because I missed a lot out. And,
oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And so,
and
I'm not taking any of it back, but
right.
Yeah. I mean, I still put chicken down the damn drains and stuff, but
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I talk for her a lot. So a lot of people are probably like, just let her talk, but that's just our dynamic. And at work, when we're out, I just talk for her. I always have. I talk for my mom too. Obviously, I like to talk. So she doesn't think anything of it, but then once I listened back to the episode, I was like, poor thing. Like I answered all her questions, but that's just literally how we've been forever. So I apologize for that, and we will have her back on, and I will let her speak. I promise.
I probably would do that with Dixie if we grew up together.
Yes. Yeah, I've always done that. Like,
ask her questions and then you answer them too.
Yes.
So you're asking, and
she will answer like yes, and I'm like, but the reason, like, I have to go into detail because I'm a detailed person and I like all the details. So I'm like, she didn't give y'all enough detail, so I'm going to give y'all details. So yeah, I will next time tell her like, elaborate when we ask you a question because
like when your daughter stole the car twice and
exactly
wrecked before she was 4. I mean, I want to hear more details.
Exactly.
Of that.
We want to know what led up to that. What led up to the high-speed chase of 12 miles per hour that totaled the truck. Like, we want to hear all that. So, yeah. So, anyways, we will redo that. We'll have her back on. And go ahead, Kila. What all have you been doing?
George Strait concert.
Nice.
That's probably like up there.
Highlight, yeah.
Yes. Well, I don't know. I got to hold a sloth this summer, so that was up there too.
Yeah, that's my spirit animal.
I know, they're so precious.
Yes.
I want one.
Do they stink?
No.
Really?
No, they are so cute.
Nice.
And just slothy. I don't know.
That's
My husband gave me hell about going to hold the sloth because we only went on that cruise because we were going to Honduras.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you can hold the sloths at.
So you were bound and determined you were holding a sloth.
Yeah, I didn't even care if we got off port anywhere else. Or
exactly.
We could have flew home that day.
Right.
But
that's a bucket list item. Check.
But I'm going to do it again.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, I may have dropped our name and was like, look, I'll talk about you on our podcast if you let me spend all the time with them.
Yeah.
So we should go to Honduras and
play
with
that's
the
just
sloths.
right down the street.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's
That's doable.
not too far.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
But my husband
Honduras.
ended up enjoying himself after we got there. He got to play with the monkeys. They're aggressive, but...
Yes. And they're nasty. They, like, throw their poop and stuff. My mama had a monkey.
My aunt had one that used to shake its little dingling at us all the time.
Well,
we thought it was funny.
My mom and
We
them
were
got
little.
one. You got, like, a free monkey with a floor set TV or something. It was like a deal or something like that. It was like, buy this TV and we'll give you a free monkey. Well, of course, the monkey was, like, disgusting and mean and, yeah. who knows? It was the 70s.
I mean, I would have bought all the TVs because, how I'm about my animals. I'd have been
Yes.
like, let's buy them up.
Yes. Speaking of which, I'm going to go off the rails.
Okay.
Monkeys and wild. One time my mom said that they rented a house and it came with like some acreage. And the man was like, yeah, there's like 5 horses back there. He said, they're wild, but if y'all can catch them, y'all can have them. She said, we spent our whole damn summer chasing them damn horses. She said once somebody would jump on the back and it would, buck you off and chase you. And she said, I didn't know that, once they're wild like that, it's very rare to tame them, especially a bunch of damn teenagers that have no experience in horses. So, yeah, she said that was her time with horses and she didn't like horses. And she put that fear onto me. I don't like horses either. I think they're huge and I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know enough about them. So, but yeah.
I like horses. Okay. I have a friend who they have horses and they ride all the time. And they just had a new baby horse and he's super cute.
Oh.
He is really cute. But yeah, I'm with you.
Well,
I'm too little to be on a horse. It's too far to get up there.
Well, that's not the case for me. But I went to this wellness day at this farm. It was like yoga and hiking and all this. And me and my son and my son's girlfriend went. And
did you do yoga?
No, just regular yoga. And I actually like yoga, but afterwards it was like, oh, we'll go down to the barn and we'll feed the horses. And I'm like, yeah, I don't really care about that. And it said light refreshments. Well, my light refreshments is like pigs in a blanket and sweet tea and sausage balls.
Them whores divorce.
Right. Well, what it actually was cucumber water with mint and watermelon that fell. She dropped it, so it had dirt on it, so we couldn't eat that. And I was like, this was not my idea of light refreshments, but that's okay. So anyways, we went out of the barn because I don't like horses. And the big, huge horse kept coming to me. And I'm like, of course he is because he knows I don't like him. So I was just like, smile and nod. So he walked away, and here comes this damn horse down this hill. And I mean, he's flying, and his legs go straight out in front of him, and he's skidding, and his hair's all wild, and he's like cross-eyed, and his tongue's hanging out. And he's like staring at me. I'm like, if I was a horse, that would be me. Literally right there. Like he was special. Here he come over there. I was like, I wouldn't even care if he bit me right now. Like of all these majestic horses, that would be me.
The special needs horse.
Yes. He had like a mohawk and he hit one eye was wondering.
Cockeyed.
His tongue was hanging out. I'm like, that's me. That's me as a horse. So anyways, that's what I did this summer.
Oh, you did that this summer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I did it. And it was cool, but I might not do it again, but it was cool. It was
bucket list. Check.
Yeah, it was experience.
Yeah.
Let's say that.
Let's see. What else my husband had his 30-year reunion. That was fun.
Class reunion,
yeah.
Cool.
Got to see all the people we went to school with. And I feel like I didn't even go to school there because half of them I didn't know.
Are you the same year as him?
I am 91. He's 93. But we all hung out
You're
together.
Older.
Yeah.
You're a cougar.
I am.
Oh, okay.
I know.
Makes sense.
But looking at, I'm like, who the hell is this person?
Right.
I mean, it was fun.
Your husband just went right back to high school days?
No, because we still see everybody that we went to high school with. We still hang out with a lot of our friends.
Oh.
So, like our one friend come in from Panama City to go, and then our other friends that we're with all the time. So it's really not different to us.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
so you're part of the clique.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't know anybody that's part of the clique. I went to my
Girl, I am. My husband is the clique.
Gotcha.
No,
okay, so we went to my husband's 20-year class reunion like 10 years ago or whatever. I don't know if I've already told this story on here. Does it sound familiar?
Were you drinking and they all gathered around you?
Yes.
Yes.
I did tell that story on here.
You did.
And I had the Tubbo Long Island iced tea.
Yes.
Yes. And Hagen still had the sticker on the back of his pants that had the size on it. Because
no, you didn't tell me that part.
so we don't have so Hagen's like, you want to go to my 25? I'm like, I think I'll sit that one out. Yeah, I actually think I will. You could go. That's fine, but I think I'll sit it out.
Oh, listen, I didn't graduate. My husband was, I don't know what he was, most popular, most athletic, most something. He was the captain of the football team in high school. He was the guy that all the girls wanted.
Yeah.
Thank you, God, for giving me him.
Mm-hmm.
Praise Jesus. I'm just kidding. But they were like, I was helping plan the damn thing. And I'm like, this ain't even my reunion.
Right.
And they're asking, me to do stuff.
I went to my class reunion and I didn't even graduate. And I was like, I wish a motherfucker would say something smart to me. Because I'm going to chop you right in your chin. I don't care if I didn't graduate or not. I was knocked up senior year. And I made it all the way to like 3 months before graduation.
Well, cheers.
Cheers.
There you go.
Yeah. So, but I still went because I was like, I mean, who's going to tell me I can't come? I mean, it wasn't like that formal anyways, but it was weird, and I won't go back to another one. But anyways.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. It's probably mean to say, but I mean, it makes me feel good about myself when I go
Yeah.
back to some of the places where a lot of people that we know
Yeah.
from younger age
I
hang
mean,
out.
I feel that way about the trailer park, not necessarily the class reunion, but I do feel like that about the trailer park.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, we need to come here more often, babe. It's like a damn,
Yes.
confidence booster.
Right.
Walk out, I'm like, oh, I got teeth.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Smiling away.
Yes.
But we had that. I went to a rage room.
Okay.
It was different.
Did you let out a lot of rage?
No, because you're supposed to take your own damn stuff to break. Did you know this? Or you can buy it.
No.
You pay to go to the rage room, and they set it up, and they put like a couple things in a bucket for you to hit.
Right.
And then you're standing there. And I went out and I was like, "Can we get some more stuff?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, you can buy this for $15, this for
What the
$20."
hell?
Like old TVs. So it's like you're at a swap meet.
Oh.
And like $150 TVs to take in there so you can break it. And I'm like,
What?
and they're like, "Well, you could have brought your own wine bottles and beer bottles in." And I'm like, "Well, damn.
I could have just went to my garage.
Right. Who knew?"
Right. What
So
the
did
hell?
y'all know that about a rage room? So if anybody has old TVs or computers that you don't want, you can donate them, and they'll give you like a little
Oh, okay. Like a credit.
credit
I was going to say,
for the
giving
rage
it to
room.
them if they're going to charge people. But yeah,
Right.
that makes sense.
But we walked in and
See, I
everything's
don't
like
have
$100 or $5, and I'm like, they must have been yard selling.
I
all
don't. I
this
don't need to
shit.
go to a rage room because I let my rage out every day, like as it
Oh,
comes. I don't hold it in. So
yeah.
my rage meter is pretty low usually.
Huh.
Yeah.
Mine, it can go up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not me. I feel like I say what I mean. I mean what I say. Even like I've been irritable lately, and Anson's like, "Oh my God, you're being so hateful." I'm like, "Mm-hmm." So move on. And then later on, I'm like, "Sorry about that. I just didn't want to be bothered."
Yeah.
I don't think the Prozac is working anymore. Anyways, we'll talk about that later with
Mine
my
probably
doctor.
needs to be up too.
Yeah, I just upped mine. Interesting.
Yeah. Because sometimes I can get pretty nasty.
Yeah.
And my husband and I, we pick at each other. We don't even know what the hell we're fighting over. We're like, War of
Yeah.
the Roses, just to pick.
Yeah. Yeah. Me and my husband play fight a lot too. But the kids are like,
But then I get mad, and then I'm like, okay, now it's enough.
yeah. I don't normally get mad. Okay, so speaking of which, we were talking about moving. Hagen's parents have a bunch of land, and they
Yeah,
were
but
going
now
to
you're not. You're going to move this way.
maybe, we don't know.
Okay.
So we were talking about moving, and then he's got a lot going on, and he's super stressed. Like he has this teacher that and I say teacher, he's his sensei that taught him martial arts back in the early 2000s. And Hagen has always kept up with him, and he doesn't have any children. And so he has a lady that lives with him, and my husband has to go over and help take care of them. He always has. Just always has.
Oh, that's
Yes.
nice.
So
Does he say yes, sensei?
probably, or teacher, I think is what he calls him. Anyways, I don't know. So that's been stressful. And then, his parents are getting older, and so they need more help too, and that's stressful. And then Hagen's just stressed to the max. And I'm like, I'm really sorry, but like that stuff doesn't really stress me out. Or we were going to build a house. Like the house plan, doesn't really stress me out. Because, and I don't mean this to be like, oh, poor pitiful Ashley, but like there's been times where I didn't know what I was going to feed my kids for supper. So like these things don't stress me like that. Like I'm just like, this is not, I've lived in survival mode the majority of my life. So these things I don't lose sleep over them. And I hate that for him, because I feel like he feels like I don't share any of the, responsibility for it. I'm like, no, I'll do whatever, but I'm not going to lose sleep over this. It's just, we're just different people. Like this stuff doesn't bother me. To me, this is a blessing to have this as a stress. You know what I mean? Like the fact that you can buy, build a house or whatever, not that it's going to be like a mansion or anything, but so we are so different when it comes to like stuff like that, because I'm like, when he's like, yeah, but what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I'm like, I don't know. God will put us where we're supposed to be. And he's like, that's not the answer. I'm like, I feel like you just wait until something happens, and then you just know. Like, you don't have to make a decision right now. Our house is paid for, so it's not like it's about to be repoed. You know what I mean? We don't have to get out in a certain amount of time. We may lose the window of, getting the most for our house. Oh, well, that's okay. I mean, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, he's just like, yeah, but you're not, like, invested. I'm like, I'm invested as much as I can be invested, but I'm just not a stressed out person. I don't like my stress was always, like, bills, you know, robbing Peter to pay Paul. Like,
Right.
I've got $300. Who the hell do I pay? Because my car's about to be repoed, the lights are about to get cut off, or my rent's, these are not stressors that really bother me. And so I feel like lately we've been, like, disconnected because he's just like, oh my God, I can't get to break and all this stuff's going on. And I really can't help with the things that happens at his teacher's house because a lot of it's like manual labor that I can't do. Plus we have the baby, so that wouldn't be feasible anyways. But I'm just like, we're just two different people. We were raised different, and
right.
things that stress you just aren't stressful for me. And sorry, I mean, not that I want to be stressed, but you know what I mean? Like we are just two different people.
I know it's hard to make them understand when when they have normal.
Yes, because it seems like I don't care. And I'm like, it's not that I don't care. Because he's like, do you want to do this or you don't want to do that? I'm like, okay, I don't care. I'll do whatever. I just feel like when the time is right or when it's going to be right, it's just going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to know it's right.
And does he kind of let it ruin his whole day?
Oh, the whole year, week, month. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That's all he can think about. It's like, well, I've got all this stuff to think about. I'm like, just don't think about it. Just, it'll happen. Like, so we may not build, we may buy. Okay, well then it's going to pop up on Zillow and you're going to be like, that's my home. You're going to know when it's time. Like, and I know that's not feasible for a lot of people, but like, that's just how I live. And I'm a day-to-day, let me get through this next 10 minutes and then we'll worry about the next 10 minutes. And so I think that comes with, the way we were raised. And it's just like, we're in survival mode. And although I'm not totally in survival mode because, I have a pretty cush lifestyle now, which I work and, provide too. But these stressors that stress people out, I'm like, that's really not that big of a deal.
Right.
There have been many times where I honestly had no idea how to, like, I was telling a coworker, there were days where I would come home from doing hair and I would have like $15. And I'm like, do I go to the grocery store and buy something to feed my kids? Or do I just run through McDonald's because they could share a Happy Meal because they were little? And then me buy a pack of cigarettes, which I know is like, that's not priority, but like I will forfeit my food for cigarettes because my nerves are shot. And like, but that's what I did. Like the babies had no idea. They're like, heck yeah, we're going to McDonald's. It was $3.16 for a Happy Meal. And I'll pour half of the drink into one sippy cup and the other. And they thought like, heck yeah, this is a treat. And I'm just thinking, I just need nicotine and whatever, which was probably why I never weighed over 95 pounds, the whole time till I met my husband. Now I'm, won't stop expanding. But anyways, but that's the truth. Like, okay, well, I have $20. What do I do with this? I can put $5 in gas, get me a pack of cigarettes, and get the babies, a Happy Meal. And that's a stressor. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that, I know things are stressful as adults because we have to make decisions, but you'll probably never convince me that that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to be empathetic to other people's problems when
you've been there.
When they're not really problems.
Right.
I mean, I know it's their problem.
Exactly. And you have to say like, well, that's their bottom or that's their low, and you have to respect that. That took me a long time to understand because I'm a very empathetic person, but like I can only hear like so much bitching and moaning about minuscule things before I'm like, that's not a fucking issue.
Right. Bitch, please.
Do you know that there are people out here that don't eat at night? Like, do you know that? Like, or do you know that there are moms that are making decisions like, do I do electricity or do I do a car payment? Like, do I, like, this is not an issue. And my husband will be like, you just don't care. And I'm like, it's not that I don't care. It's just this stuff just doesn't matter to me like that. Like, this is a good stress to have.
Yeah, but those people are looking at us too, like, they think that we're making it up. And it's like,
well, they're like, well, you could have done better if you'd like, yep, you're right, probably right.
It's almost like jokes because I know I've joked about it my whole life.
Yeah.
And I think you have too.
Yeah.
To get through it.
But you do it. And then
they're like, are you really being serious? Is that really how you grew up?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. It's like the whole getting off the bus and be like, oh, yeah, we don't live here anymore. And you're like, oh, okay. When we don't take our furniture, like what happened to the furniture? They're like, oh, we left it with, that itchy ass couch that somebody gave us anyways. And I'm like, oh, okay, so we're starting over new.
There's nothing worse than getting off the bus or coming home from school one day and you can't get in your house. A big evicted sign over there.
And you're like, where do we live now? And they're like,
where do we go?
We're staying at Nanny's. And Mom didn't make it a damn adventure. You know, when something like that happened with me and my kids, I was like, oh, it's an adventure. We're going on an adventure. We're sleeping in the car tonight. Well, not really, but like we're camping.
We're going on a bear
Mom's
hunt.
like, them motherfuckers expect your rent every month. What the hell? And I'm like, and here I am like, yeah, how greedy are they to want their rent every month? Like, that's insane. And then I grew up and I'm like, bitch, you knew the rules when you moved in. But like growing up, I took that in with Mom. Like, I was just like, they're so greedy. They have so much money and they just kick us out on the street. And I'm like, bitch, you knew what you were supposed to pay when you moved in there.
Right.
Like, they know that's what they.
Oh my God. I couldn't even tell you how many places I lived when we were little.
Me either.
I mean, if I could count the addresses or how many schools I went to.
Yes.
I mean, it would be up there.
Yes.
I wish there was a way to look that up.
Yeah. Well, you probably, no, because you wouldn't ever got mail. Well, if you were me and your mom had cable and stuff in your name at 8 years old, there probably is a paper trail.
Yeah.
So you could probably get on like Google and put.
It was hard to get Comcast.
Oh, I couldn't.
My daughter, when she moved out, because she lived with my mom a little bit when she was in college here in Murfreesboro, because their house was bigger, and so she stayed with my mom, and she was like, Mom, I always worried about Nana opening a credit card in my name.
Right. Yes. Oh, we had Holly Myers and Finger Hut and
ABC.
Well, my mom loved a TV guide. So all of us had TV guides. She just made up names for TV guides. She was obsessed with a TV guide. I'm like, who the hell is John Black? She's like, this guy I met in, 6th grade. I'm like, Mom, it's a TV guide. I don't know why she was so obsessed with that. But yes, so I found some TV guides from 1985 at the Nashville flea market, and I bought like 6 of them because I was like, we didn't eat, but by God, we had freaking TV guide.
We always had cable or phone numbers in somebody else's name.
Oh, well, we rarely had like cable or phone numbers, but one time Mom got the cable cut on, and the guy come to cut it off, and Mom went outside, and she was like, hey, you want to smoke a joint? And he was like, yeah. So she smoked the joint with him, and she was like, now go hook my cable back up. And he was like, I can't. And she was like, or I can just call your boss and tell him that you. So she blackmailed this man for like 2 years.
For free cable.
Yep.
That's
so he
smart.
would come and unhook us, smoke the joint with her, and then go back out there and hook it back up. And because she was like, no, I mean, I can call your boss and tell him you just smoked a joint with me. And he was like, no, ma'am. And then one time we lived in a house. My mom got a house built through HUD Homes. So the mortgage was like $40. It's like ridiculously cheap. But anyways, our water got cut off so much that the guy from the water department just like left the water, pipe tool to cut it back on. Because he was like, I mean, ma'am, we already know that you've already been doing this. So he just left it. He was like, fuck it. I mean, we'll just cut the water back on.
I was really bad about paying the water bill. I think we've talked about that.
Yes.
My husband, bless his heart.
Yeah.
But thank God for
auto draft.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank God my husband don't trust me with anything. So my money goes in my account, and he'll just text me and say, this is how much the light bill was. I'm taking it out. I'm like, cool. Sounds great. Thank you. I thought that shit was just like free or something. I don't know.
I know. And now it's so expensive, too. I would have never been able to move out in these times.
No, me either.
For deposits and rent. Like, I feel bad for
anybody starting out.
Trying to, I mean, I can't imagine how much rent is.
So since it's spooky season, we need to talk about spooky stuff.
Okay, what you want to talk about?
Well, my house is still haunted. So let's talk about that.
Okay.
So since I've seen you last, let's see what's happened. Sis, the baby, got in my bed like 3 weeks ago. And as I'm putting her in my bed, because she comes every single night, she goes, who's that? And points at my closet. And I'm like, huh? And she's like, who's that? And I'm like, the hell ain't nobody. You better go the hell on in the name of Jesus Christ. I'm doing like rosaries not rosaries, what's it called? Where you do the Hail Marys I'm like, I know you ain't, better go on somewhere. And then Bub said the other day, he said something about a haunted house. And I was like, oh, I didn't know he knew about haunted houses. I guess they're learning it in daycare or something because it's Halloween. And he said something about, I live in a haunted house. And I was like, you do? He was like, I got ghostesses, but he's big. And I was like, oh, he is? And he was like, yeah, big monster. And I was like, oh.
That's crazy.
Okay. And I was sitting downstairs like probably 2 weeks ago, and I think I was down there by myself, and it sounded like my husband fell out of the bed. Like it was that loud, like boom. And I was like, oh, crap. So I texted him, I'm like, you okay? And like 5 minutes later, he's like, yeah, why? And I'm like, well, did you fall? And he's like, no, I've been laying in the bed. I'm like, the hell was that noise? So I text Anderson. She's like, no, I'm in my bed. I'm like, what the hell? Like, that sounded so loud. I'm surprised it didn't like wake the babies up. It was like, but that shit happens all the time. Like a loud boom and then nothing, no idea where it came from. Like, so anyways, I had a lady reach out to me on Instagram.
Yes.
Did we talk about this on the podcast?
We might have mentioned it. I don't know, but.
Well, she reached out to me on Instagram and she was like, oh, I have this friend that's like a psychic or whatever, because I had posted that on TikTok. And she's like, I'm going to ask her what she feels at your house. And I'm not dissing the lady at all, but she said that she saw a lady in a white wedding dress, like twirling around, dancing. And then a man.
I bet she tripped and fell.
I bet she did too. That's what the noise was. And then there was a man, and I can't remember what the man was. Anyways, it was kind of very cliche for what you would think, like, how people, see ghosts, always a bride looking for her groom, or, a man who, I don't know, was a slave owner or something, like, I was just like, she's like, does any of that ring a bell? And I'm like, no, not really. And she's like, I was like, I live in a neighborhood, so it's not like I live in the country. And she's like, well, do you know the area? I'm like, I think it was a farm before, but like, I mean, we're in Middle Tennessee, so that's pretty likely that it was a farm. So anyways, bless her little heart. I just said, thank you. Oh, and there was an evil spirit too, she said. And I was like, well, I don't really feel evil here. Whatever it is, I feel like it's, I think it's fine. I think it just wants you to know.
I mean, I would go stay somewhere else. I wouldn't stay at the house.
You wouldn't? Mm-mm. I'm not really scared. Even when I come downstairs, like at night, like last night was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I stayed up till 2:30, but let the cat out, and I like looked around the living room like just to see, because I'm like, I really want to know who the hell it is. Like, is it family, or is it just somebody that lived here before? Or like, I'm curious to know what it is. But whatever. I just feel like whatever it is it's fine.
Listen, if you work for Ghostbusters, call us.
Yeah. Or if you get a feeling from what I'm telling you.
Yeah, call us.
Call us.
We'll do Ashley's house.
Yeah, we should.
We should.
The only thing is I don't want to like stir anything up. And like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to, like, I've, done my own little investigation, but not nothing.
You ever seen the movie The Entity?
Yes.
It's horrible.
Yes. And I don't want to stir anything up. That's why my sister always says.
Have y'all seen that?
We can't go ghost hunting. She's like, Ashley prays the whole time. I'm like, yeah, because I don't want something to get attached to me. Like, I want to see a ghost, but I don't want anything to attach to me.
I know.
Because I'd be the damn one that, comes home with a freaking entity attached to me.
Oh, yeah, that was bad.
Yeah.
That was so bad.
I like the whole idea of the paranormal, and I believe in it and all that, but I ain't stupid. Like, I'm doing black salt around me and, praying. God's just like, just stop going ghost hunting. But I'm like, I'm very curious.
I know. We talked about doing some scary stuff this scary season.
We haven't got time to do it.
We do need to go do something, though.
Yeah.
And so you've got that torture chamber place there by you in Summertown.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yes.
So it's called McCamey
Manor.
And if you haven't heard of it,
have y'all heard of it?
It's absolutely insane. Like, you could die, and you have to sign a contract saying that if I die,
it's like a 72-page contract, and you have to read it out loud before you're even doing it.
Yes, and you win $20,000 if you make it through, but he literally could kill you. You sign that before you tap out.
It's a torture chamber.
Yeah, I mean, they can drown you, choke you, make you eat dog food. Like,
it's an interactive experience.
So it was in Illinois or Indiana?
It was in San Diego when he first opened in 2000.
And then he got kicked out of a state, I remember.
Well, in San Diego, he lived in a neighborhood, and so he had a bunch of people that would call the police on him and stuff because they thought he was, like, really kidnapping people.
Yeah.
So then he tried to go to Illinois, and they wouldn't let him come to Illinois. Right. So because they did not want that in their neighborhood or wherever he was moving. So then he's got one in Summertown and Huntsville now.
Yes, because he got through some loophole laws in Tennessee and in Alabama where he can do this, where he can provide this.
Yeah, somehow we don't know. He doesn't charge you for it.
Right.
You only have to, it's a nonprofit.
Yes, because it's something about dog food.
Yeah, he donates to the Greyhound Association.
Yes.
So you have to give a 50-pound bag of dog food. That's what you paid to do it. But I bet he's paying for his pay-per-view to watch it because he's on YouTube.
Yes.
So I bet he's making money somehow.
Oh, that's exactly how he's making his money. I looked into him probably 5-6 years ago because it was all over Facebook that he was coming to Tennessee, and then I looked it up and I'm like, this is insane. like the torture, like people have broken bones and like, why would you want to be tortured?
And there's not a safe word. So how like some places you can go and there's a safe word, like it says in the contract there's no safe word. It doesn't matter what you tell him you want out of it. You're
at this
staying
point, I'm
until he
like,
lets
is
you
this
go.
just assisted suicide? Because like, I don't know if anybody's actually.
And I read that he's a Walmart greeter. That's what he does for a job now.
That's insane.
In Summertown, he works at the Walmart.
So he's Ted Bundy. Just lives among us.
He has to be. I mean, he has to be. I would like to pick
That's
his
psychopathic.
brain just to know, like, because they say he's like a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Like they're like he's a fun guy that you would want to sit down. He looks normal.
Yeah.
We chatted a little bit on Messenger, but he said he couldn't let us talk to him or we couldn't come visit because he was in other
under
ventures.
contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I was like, we do not want to come.
No.
We don't want to go through your haunted house.
No. Does he? Have you looked it up? Does he have like actual people come? Like
he does an experience once a week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and then people are dumb and they go back. So he films them.
But people get off on that. Some people get off on being tortured.
Yeah, they called it. There's a diagnosis for that.
Yeah.
But he like films them the whole time, and then he's got like I guess social media is going live, and then he's like, oh my God, they think you're a celebrity, So I guess they're mind fucked basically, laying there like, do I?
Oh.
But it's crazy. I'd like to talk to some people who've been through it.
Yeah. So if you know anybody or
just to see,
email us.
But there's one lady that only one person has made it like 6 hours. They said, and it could be updated now, whatever I was listening to, but and they said she seemed pretty normal, but she was just out of it. Like when they were,
she's probably military,
talking to her,
like special ops.
No, they said those were the first people. He said that they've had people come that are in military special ops, and they're like, they get out pretty fast.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow. Because there's a race in Spring Hill, and it's called the 1 mile something, and you run that same mile for as long as you can go, and they run it like 42 hours. And the guy that like wins most of the time, he's a Navy SEAL, and like who could run for 42 straight hours? But he can. You get like a 15-minute break every 3 hours or something. I don't know, but yeah, that's cool. But
he like waterboards them, and like it's crazy. Like the videos on YouTube are insane.
Wow. Well,
so we don't want to go there, and I'd like to see the contract. I'd like to see the contract and let a lawyer look at it just to see the loopholes, because I bet. Yeah. But then I just can't believe these people sign up to go back. I can't believe they sign up to go.
Maybe it's just like extremist or something. I don't know. I'm not. I'm the opposite of extremist.
Right.
I'm lazy.
So when I was looking up his stuff, do you know that the first haunted house was in 1915?
Like fake haunted house?
Yep.
Oh, really? No.
Yeah. Yep. It was.
Where was it at?
It was the first recorded purpose-built haunted attraction was at the Orton and Spooner Ghost House, which opened in 1915 in Liphook, England.
Oh, England.
Yep.
Interesting.
Closely resembling a carnival funhouse. It was powered by steam, and it still exists.
Wow.
In the Holy Calm Steam Collection.
I'm not a haunted house person, although we go to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios every year because my husband's really into it.
I bet that's fun, though. Well, actually, and it said haunted houses did not become a cultural icon, though, until Walt Disney decided to build one.
Oh, yeah.
And so, he opened the Haunted Mansion in 1969.
Which is very G-rated. It's very, like, kid-friendly. Like, the ones at Halloween Horror Nights are not kid-friendly. They're very, very...
Really?
Yes, and they're very detailed and very... They're scary as shit. But I walk through the whole thing with my hands over my ears, and my my son's dad and his wife go, and my husband, and when they get out there, I'll just, like, walk through, and I'm like, so did y'all have good childhoods or what? Like, none of y'all grab your heads, none of y'all scream. Y'all are just like... I'm like, so what's it like to be God's favorite? I mean, y'all didn't have, like, trauma in y'all's, like,
I love to go to haunted houses, which I say I do, but then I hold on to the person in front of me, and I close my eyes, and I just go.
Right, you don't see anything.
No, and then when the people come at me, I'm like, I will hit you.
Yes,
I mean, I will punch you right in the mouth.
I just say, no. I'm like, the whole time, no. And they're, like, still scaring me. I'm like, I said no. No means no.
And I'll probably cuss them and call them names.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's another thing they said about the McCamey is that nobody will ever win money because you have to be tortured and do all of this for the $20,000 without saying a curse word.
Oh, well, I'm out. Hell, I can't even wait in line.
Yes, and so people are like, and I'm like, well, if they said a cuss word, if I said shit or damn in the first 5 minutes, then just let me out now.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, so that's how nobody will ever win because you cannot say a curse word.
That's crazy. Is this in his actual house?
I don't think it's in his actual house.
Okay. That's weird. Anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, why pay to get tortured? You could just have like toddlers.
Well, you're just buying a bag of dog food.
Right. Well, that's true. That is true.
Yeah. So it's going for the,
it's going for a good cause. That's good. But
yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. But I seen something on YouTube the other day where people were showing up protesting outside of his house in his driveway, and like the little animal costumes are like onesies.
Oh.
Like the dogs.
Oh, okay. Furries. Okay.
And they were calling the cops to come and get them out, and they're like just sitting there.
Wow.
Doing dog food. And
maybe I need to live close to him because I am interested in some action. I'm nosy as hell. Like if I hear a siren on the street next to me, I'm like, I'm going to get my car. I don't know anybody. I have no clue. If they pulled out a dead body, I still wouldn't know who it is. But I'm just like so nosy because my mama never let me be nosy as a kid.
Huh.
No, she'd say, get your ass in the house. Ain't none of your business. So now everything is my business. Like we love it when a state trooper sits across from our shop because we're like, who's he going to get? Who's he going to get? And like when he takes off, I'm like, woo. And I'm like, all they're getting is a speeding ticket. But I'm like excited as hell. Like so freaking excited.
Funny.
Yeah. So I'm nosy.
Be like, he got you, bitch.
Yeah, anytime something's happening in my neighborhood, I know about it. And I don't know their names. I'm like, little red car? Hey, big black truck? I don't know their names, but I know their cars. So I need to live close to them so I can see the action.
Well, all right. I think this was a good first comeback.
I think it was too, and I think...
even though we got off.
We always do. And someone said don't try to recap it. They like that we get off and just keep on going.
Well, good.
Keep on keeping on. But y'all can write us, send us an email at barbarajeanandwanda@gmail.com, or you can get on Instagram and find us at Barbara Jean and Wanda. Is it podcast or just Barbara Jean and Wanda? I think it's just Barbara Jean and Wanda. You'll see our picture.
Know. Just look for Barbara Jean and Wanda.
Yeah, on Instagram.
And we are going to do a TikTok at some point. We're doing it today.
And we have YouTube, Barbara Jean and Wanda.
Like, subscribe, follow.
So if you're more of a visual person, you can watch this podcast actually on YouTube. So thank y'all. We love y'all. We're glad to be back.
Yep. And we'll be back next time.
That's right.
In the same outfit here in a minute.
Yep.
Bye.
Oh, you can't. Remember, we can talk shit about our moms, but no one else can.
Yep.
Have a great day.